Today's deck profile is going to feature a fan favorite. With BT17 dropping a slew of new support cards and a restriction list, there is now a better indication of what is defined as our format in North America. Again, if you're ever needing to look up a topping list in a Bandai related card game, definitely check out Eggman Events page, link in the description for a complete repository of the top 16. With such a huge representation of Imperialdramon at Cartamagica's in-person regional, what's a deck that has some interesting interactions with Imperialdramon? In some playtesting I've been doing, the answer is Diaboromon. Per the usual, I'll offer up some insight on some cards featured in the upcoming list, along with the rulings and timings that you can react to your opponents doing something. And Diaboromon has quite a few of them. This video will also briefly touch on a version of the build I like to call Do Nothing Diaboromon, because the focus is reliant on not attacking your opponent's security and attacking their Digimon regardless. BT17's first new card in the level 2s is a simple Sumemon baby that when this Digimon is deleted, if it has the unidentified trait, you gain 1 memory. While this is one egg that some Diaboromon decks are running, I personally prefer the draw egg from BT5 because you're digging for specific pieces. Another option of course could be Doraemon from BT16, because when your Diaboromon converted into the blockers are deleted, this could also be a great interaction. The keramon though is largely going to be the MVP of discussion for this video, due to its opponent's turn effect. When an opponent's Digimon is played, or Digivolves, if it is level 5 or higher, this Digimon may Digivolve into an Infamon in your hand, ignoring the Digivolution conditions, and without paying the cost. The inheritable on deletion spawns a Diaboromon token. Briefly, the Infamon from this set is also the perfect Infamon for this Digimon, because it has a when Digivolving effect that Digivolves 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon, then prevents a Digimon with a play cost of 8 or less from attacking players until the end of the turn. The inheritable also performs a Digivolve 1 when a Diaboromon token is spawned. So when you combine this Infamon with keramon from the previous discussion, this creates one heck of a combo that is obnoxious for Imperialdramon players. By slapping a keramon out to end your turn, your opponent must now contend with the question, do they have the Infamon? If they go full combo into the starter deck Imperialdramon, that's one situation that you can't do this combo. But with the other Imperialdramons, you absolutely can. Because the moment your opponent DNA Digivolves their Digimon into Imperialdramon from BT16, they'll suspend keramon. But so what? If the Digimon isn't removed, after resolving all their when Digivolving effects, you can free Evo an Infamon and de-Digivolve that partition Imperialdramon to their XVmon. 1 partition Digimon down, 3 to go. If they don't have the memory either, they may not be able to DNA Digivolve again. The last card that's going to get some spotlight of course, goes to the Ace version. If you're locals, or if you're trying to roll into every possible Imperialdramon matchup, one other Digimon that does work is Diaboromon Ace. This Digimon can blast Digivolve on top of your Infamons, creating an ideal scenario where your keramons to Infamon play. But the real advantage here is that when Digivolving and when attacking, you can generate a token without paying the cost. And also all turns, once per turn, when an effect plays another Digimon, you may delete one of your opponent's play cost 3 or lower Digimon. For each of your Diaboromon, add 2 to the maximum play cost. On initial Digivolve, you can put out a token, and immediately delete up to 7 play cost total because Diaboromon Ace also counts itself. So if you're in that Imperialdramon matchup and your opponent uses that Davis and Ken effect to play a Vmon or Wormmon, instant deletion can occur. And while true, they might have the Primogenitor option card out and ready for delay, remember your Infamons can de-Digivolve first after you play the token and then delete. With these 3 cards, this is the cornerstone of what makes Diaboromon perfect in my mind for an Imperialdramon matchup. For Diaboromons, the newest one is only used in my mind if you are playing the Doomsday Clock and you're going for the Do Nothing variant. I'll go ahead and fill in what this version does because in essence, you aren't checking security, you're only attacking your opponent's Digimon and focusing on getting the alternate win condition. Because why should you help your opponent play their Tamers, set up boosts, training? Nah, I'm just building a giant freaking wall. For this, you're capitalizing on using the option card Prime Memory Boost as well, as it can reveal cards and send them to trash. By filtering through this deck quickly, you can find your Doomsday Clocks unless of course they're in the security, at which point you may be needing to let some of those attacks through. Conveniently, it can set up your keramons, as well as your trash for errata sonatas, and even play out blocker kurisarimon. Jokes aside, I don't recommend this deck by any means, unless you're styling on your opponent for the alternate win condition. But for a playable version of the deck, I do recommend the following. Egg-wise, I'm all about the draw power with BT5-Sumemon. I'm not here for the memory, I'm looking to draw faster into those important pieces I may need. That keramon, infermon, and Diaboromon in an Imperialdramon heavy matchup seems to be what you want to see. Because at that point, they have a specific line they have to follow in order to out your stack. You might feel differently and want the memory, but decks are fast, and you want to find your combo pieces quickly. Level 3s, you're of course going to max out that BT7 variant, while your EX6 acts as your new searcher like BT5, but with a nifty inherit to play out a Diaboromon token when the Digimon is deleted. And of course the keramon that draws you a card when a token is played. Especially crucial with the EX6 variant that can pump out a token each turn, meaning in essence, you've got to draw 2 at the start of each turn. One level 3 I found mildly amusing, perusing the Facebook groups this week, was Monmon, because it is honestly a great level 3 that could be a target for Ancient Garurumon decks, and protect your field from bounce effects. Can't bounce me? Sorry. Level 4s, I prioritize the memory gained from BT2 along with the rush inheritables that can play out Errata Sonata. The other variant from EX6 can help with popping floodgates, and can have its play cost reduced when you delete a Diaboromon in play. Easy, right? Not surprising, the Infamons are now going to be the ones from EX6 and BT17. Both have the same all turns D-Digivolve effects, which is going to be huge against any deck, especially if you blast Digivolve as well. The BT17 is especially effective against a lot of the meta decks, though you have to be wary of them returning the keramon before that opponent's turn effect triggers, or if the Digimon has immunity. And of course for Diaboromons, it's the standard EX6 for continuous token generation, jamming, and blocker for your other Diaboromon, and of course the ace for removal elements. In regards to Armageddonmon, I'm on 2, because recycling some of the trash can be nice, but also the removal can be worth it. Here you could also play Quartzmon, the old Armageddonmon, or even Omnimon Zord to bring back your Diaboromon aces. But largely, it's the Diaboromons going in for that aggressive push. Option card wise, there are a wide variety of items to play. For this build, I went with 2 copies of Catastrophe Cannon for Digivolving 2, and playing a Diaboromon if I already have one in play, and 3 defense training for the consistency factor. Though if you're feeling like Ultimate Flare or DG Dimension will do better justice, by all means, go for it. The Tamers land on 1 Izzy Azumi for stacking the top of the deck into a particular order and providing a memory fixer, while utilizing the Errata Sonatas to gain memory if you have an unidentified Digimon in the trash, and you can play an additional token when your Digimon digivolves in a Diaboromon, but sadly only on your turn. Overall, the deck for this is very simple and straightforward. But in regards to why I found this deck so effective, again comes down to the keramon and infamon interaction. Let's say your opponent has a level 4 Digimon in the back, and promotes out their XVmon. They activate Davis and Ken in order to play Wormmon. If you have that Diaboromon ace in play, you can immediately delete one of their Digimon and stop the combo right then and there. Now if you don't and you have a keramon, your opponent must have the starter deck Imperialdramon for your combo to fail. When they digivolve in a Stingmon, more than likely they'll have their end of turn DNA digivolve. The moment they DNA digivolve in a Imperialdramon, they will have to resolve their Imperialdramon's effect first. With the partition version, this Digimon would simply suspend all of your opponent's Digimon with as many or fewer sources. No problem. Keramon is suspended. Because it wasn't removed from the board, you can warp into Infamon and de-digivolve the Imperialdramon, forcing them to have another one. But if they have the starter deck version, they can bottom deck the keramon before it goes off. Likewise, Ancient Garurumon would do the same thing, which is why in my preliminary testing, Diaboromon might not be as good versus Ancient Garurumon. But Imperialdramon, I think it has a lot of validity to it. Generally, what are your thoughts on Diaboromon post-restriction, and what are some changes you'll be making? Let me know your thoughts, because now it's time to explore a few concepts to the color problem this week. This is Digi-Panda, logging out.